on Go TV. It's the Anambra local government elections. It's a special coverage here we're doing. Already you've seen that Governor Soludo has voted in his Sofia, his hometown, and a great deal of other activities have also taken place. And we're continuing our coverage and analysis of that election. My name is Alex Obodo. As you can see there, Governor Soludo has voted. Quite a number of other people have voted. And I mean, the analysis will continue as to what this election means for the Anambra people. And I'm joined now on this segment of the coverage by Ndubisi Enechionya. He is the former chairman of L.G.A, that's All Progressive Grand Alliance, L.G.A, Enugu State. Thank you so much, Ndubisi Enechionya, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, I mean, local government elections, just like I was having the discussion with James Eze previously, before we went on the news break, that perhaps those in one local government don't quite care about what's happening in the other one. But one thing I've noticed in both the election that has happened in Imo and Enugu, we've talked about the standards. It doesn't look like the standard is increasing. But what do you think this election means to the people? And they are aware, are they aware that it means something to them?
Well, first is that democracy needs to have some learning. And that learning comes from continuously doing things. The problem we have is that we've continuously done elections poorly. So what we have learned is poor elections. And there's a lot of our people are no longer interested in elections. You know, I am no longer supportive of local government elections the way they are. Last time I was there, I said to you that local government elections is a waste of people's time and government money, because we have 36 states. Not one is a model for local government elections. And in the last week, you've seen it, in the last week. You know, Imo, you will see clips where results were announced without mentioning the figures that the parties scored. So they will say, this local government, this person won. And then it goes that way. Enugu was done. Kwara, I was reading this morning where the government was saying to Saraki, you have no moral justification to complain. You know? So it's the same everywhere. And the irony of it is that local government elections are meant to train us in elections, election management. You know? Because the more we do it, the better we get at it, whether it is the voters or the election managers. But we've never allowed local government elections to work. And the irony is that we are used to local government elections happening this way. Nobody worries about it again. You know, I was listening to somebody who was in the PDP campaign in Edo. I was listening to him on the radio last week. And they said to him, you are complaining, but do you really have justification to complain? Because a few months ago, you guys conducted local government elections, and we all know how it went. And the guy said, look, it's not the same. We all know how local government elections happen in Nigeria. So even the politicians accept that local government elections are not meant to be real elections. They say, we know how it happens.
So is it safe to say that local government election is the largesse of the government in power in any state?
Yes, it is. It is. And that is why at the end of the day, the party in power wins all the councillorship seats, all the chairmanship seats. You know? And it is not dependent on which party is in power, whether it is PDP, whether it is APC, whether it is L.G.A, whether it is NMPP. The only person who has made some kind of attempt to do a local government election was El-Rufai in Kaduna. Yeah. He used an electronic way of doing it even before the country started it. Yeah. You know, so for me, I'm not a fan of local government elections in Nigeria any longer. If we want to continue local government elections, we must make sure that we are serious about it. Democracy is about elections. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. The people must matter. And the people don't matter in our local government elections, which is very unfortunate.
Now that you've talked about the people, imagine having elections that don't really impact on people's lives. So we've had a lot of local government elections. Let's use Southeast as an instance here. We've had numerous local government elections, but what's the impact of those elections? And which speaks to the processes of these elections. So if free and fair elections are not conducted, what do you expect from those who emerge from these elections?
In democracy, elections are a control for performance. The fact that you need to come back to the people to say, I have done well, support me again, it doesn't guarantee that they will do well, but at least it gives the people a power to question you when you're not doing well. And that is the challenge I have with local government elections. Because elections don't matter, the guys who are there have no obligation to anybody. So 2 years down the line, they come back, they don't need you. It is the person who puts them on the ballot that will determine whether they go in there or not. You know, so the people don't matter. And if the people don't matter, we can't say we're practicing democracy. So for us to move forward, and I keep saying it, for us to move forward, there has to be, the political class has to sit down and decide how we want to navigate this country. We bring people out every 2 years and say we're doing local government elections. And we don't even care about the optics. Nobody cares about the optics. You know? Nobody cares about the optics. I just told you about Imo. They announced the results without telling us the figures the parties got. Nobody cares. So it is because everybody, the political class, believes that local government elections really don't matter. That it is for the governor to choose who they want to put there. So we must have a proper conversation about elections, particularly local government elections. You know, everybody cries. You see people who cry when they think they've been rigged out of the general election. They cry. They have also stopped people from participating in local government elections, but they think it is the way. You're not supposed to get angry that we didn't allow you to participate in local government elections. The real election is the federal election. But that is not true. The real election is the local government election. That is why it happens more often than the general election. It happens more often because they expect the people. This is the area of government that most affects the people. So they expect the people to interrogate them more often, ask them questions more often. But because the votes don't count, because the elections don't matter, it really doesn't count in the big picture. The people get in there, they have allegiance to the governors, and then at the end of it, they will complain that the local governments don't work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You know, government working is our checks and balances. There must be a way to force them to do the right thing.
So, I mean, everybody will argue that, well, if you are in power in a state, that you have the prerogative to point at anybody to become councillor or governor. But then, when you kick that can down the road, you see that it doesn't seem to be bringing about the real development we want and seek at the lowest level of government. But which brings me to another issue, and that is the whole thing about the resources of the local government. I raised that issue with James Eze earlier. So states are moving now to conduct elections because there's been a Supreme Court judgment.
Yes.
So the money is the appeal here.
It is. It's the appeal now. He who pays the pipe and he pays it too.
So, I mean, now that the local government will get the money directly,
yes,
I hope it comes with some form of responsibility. It's not just clinching the office.
How?
What do you do?
The responsibility is the election. It is us, the voters, that will determine that responsibility. How do we do that? You know, by exercising our power to elect the people who will show us that responsibility.
Great.
If we have no choice in selecting the people, they have no responsibility to us.
All right. Okay, we have some activity in some places in Anambra. We have you know, people who are sending us situation reports from different parts of Anambra State. There's an interview with Honorable Jude Chiemeze Ngobili. So let's take a listen. I think is one of the candidates in the election. Let's hear him. You have to pardon us some of the videos.
Yes, let's meet you officially, sir.
Well, my name is Honorable Jude Ngobili. I represent Ihiala One constituency.
Okay.
At the State House of Assembly.
Okay.
I'm also the chief whip of the house.
Very good. So, what are we doing here today, sir?
We are here to witness the deepening of democracy at the various local governments. And we are here today in Ihiala local government.
Okay, what is the advice to ANSEC officials that will conduct today's election?
My advice to them is that they should conduct an election that is free and fair. Also to ensure that our people
Some of the videos are eyewitness videos, so you can understand the quality isn't as great as we expect. But of course, he is obviously making a point that they are deepening democracy, and the question will be, how deep can democracy go, or can it get?
Democracy is about the people. And the only way the people can participate is through elections. You can only deepen democracy by allowing the people to express their choices. And it is not only at the election stage, because sometimes we don't know that election is a process. Election is a process that starts from the party selection process. Democracy is also expected at the party selection process. If you say you want a candidate for chairman, you must allow your party members who want to be chairman to participate. You know, if you don't allow that process at that level, it is very unlikely that you're going to allow it if you have the power at the bigger level. So democracy has phases. And for me, it has failed at all the phases. And that is why I say the biggest danger we have in our democracy is the political party system, because it is the foundation. If the foundation is not strong, the foundation of our democracy is not strong, because the political party system does not allow democracy. The candidates don't emerge from a process that is democratic. So that transcends to the elections. So when you're talking about the people, democracy is about the people. But the people don't matter if they can't vote. The power of the people is the vote, which is your power to say to you, look, I am unhappy with how you operated the last time. I don't want you again. And that is what is missing in the local government election system. So it is a conversation we must have as a people. Do we want local government elections or not? Because it is high time we stop deceiving ourselves. You know, every 2 years we bring people out, pretend as if there's an election, and then announce results that one party wins. There's no election in Nigeria where one party can win. There's no election in any state in Nigeria where if you conduct proper elections, one party can win. It's not possible.
So what is stopping us from having proper elections? What is stopping us from having proper elections?
Because we have a winner-takes-all political class. We have a political class that do not believe in process. You know, the last time I was there, I said to you, we only want free and fair elections when we are at a disadvantage. You know, Obaseki was shouting in Edo for the federal election. But for the state election, the other people who will shout are the other parties. Anambra today, I'm sure that the other parties will shout. In the general election, L.G.A may be one of the parties who will be shouting in Anambra, because the general elections are under the federal executive. And that is not what democracy envisages. Democracy envisages that the people are going to decide who rules them. You know, so it's and if you ask me how it's going to be resolved, it's a difficult question to answer, because we've been at it for a long time. Democracy, you learn from democracy, but we have learned the wrong thing over the years. So how do we start on learning it, which is the question? How do we start on learning the bad things that we've learned over the years? How do we start on learning it? So it's a difficult question for me to answer. And that is why we need leaders who will put their best foot forward. We need people now to stand up and say, no, we can't continue this way. When L.G.A was doing it when L.G.A was conducting the election in Kaduna, I was quite hopeful. But at the end of the day, after that, PDP won some of the seats. His APC won. I think some other parties also won. But after that, that model did not continue. Nobody copied him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we never like to copy the good things. We copy the ones that are advantageous to us.
Because a lot of people are saying he used beavers.
Yes.
He used
before the country used it.
Yes, he used beavers, and all we've heard in other states is that in Enugu they said they can't afford it. In Imo and Anambra, some people are saying that the beavers is not effective. In fact, I saw a statement credited to one of the officials, excuse me, of ANSIAC, that beavers is not, reliable. So, but I'm not sure that's the case, but because the beavers was used in the Edo elections. There was no problem with beavers. There was no problem with
the problem was coalition.
Uploading to IREV. So the problem is what you do after voting had ended, when you move those results physically to the collation centers. So I'm asking this question again. I asked this question 2 days ago. How do we manage to continue to carry results physically on paper, from, say, one location to another, in order to compute it in 2024? I'm still seeking for answers. Can you have answers to that?
The beavers electronic transmission was supposed to have stopped that, which is why I'm quite unhappy with how the last election panned out, particularly the role of the courts. Because the rule of the courts took us back to where we used to be. We had almost solved that problem. What the courts needed to do was to say the uploaded result is the right result. That's what the court needed to do. If the court had done that, what would have happened was that the elections would have ended at the polling units. So what we would have been fighting for is to make sure that at the polling units, the elections count. Because once it is uploaded, that is the result. But we missed that opportunity. We are back to square one. Now it's a winner takes all. Announce me first. Whatever is in beavers does not matter.
We settle it in court.
Yes.
So, but do you think that this can be remedied? Because already some people are making noise.
We've already remedied it
at the National Assembly.
We've already remedied it. We provided electronic transmission. What we needed to do was to put our foot down for the process to work. That's all we needed to do. Because the process was already there. If you look at the Edo election, the results were uploaded from the polling units. So there was no need for local government coalition. All those things are loopholes that politicians create in case they don't win. You know? So we've already remedied it by electronic transmission. We had. But we didn't have the will, we didn't have the patriotism, we didn't have the resolve to see it through.
I mean, former President Jonathan was quoted recently as saying that the electronic part of our election may not solve the problems with our electoral process. Do you really swing to what he's saying on that?
No, if he could have solved it, he would have solved it. Challenge is that, you know, it reduces a lot of human intervention. And the more you reduce human intervention, the more likely that you're going to get the right results. Because our biggest problem here is the human being. So electronic transmission removes collation, and collation is one of the biggest challenges of elections in Nigeria. Collation. So it removes collation. What we needed to do was to insist on it. If we had insisted on it, then what we'll be talking about now is how we can conduct local government elections within the proper independent umpires. That's what we're talking about. Because the process has been set, we've tested it, we have insisted on it. So we'll be talking about now, do we ask INEC to conduct local government elections?
Yeah, that's a very good point you raised. But currently, the local government system are still being legislated for by the state houses of assembly. So for you to accomplish that, wouldn't you be needing a legislation from the National Assembly that will actually override the powers of the state houses of assemblies across the country?
Absolutely.
Because, I mean,
absolutely. And if anybody,
so
if
do
anybody
you think
can
the
do
governors will fold their hands and watch you do that? Because because if you're going to make any law that will touch everybody, you will still need the 2/3 from all the state houses. So how do you accomplish
And if
that?
anybody can accomplish it, this president can accomplish it. And the governors can't be there for longer than 8 years. And my analogy is this. Enugu has had 3 sets of governors, for example. Each state has had 3 sets of governors. Which of the past governors can make an input into who becomes local government chairman? None. The only way you can make that input is if elections matter. However, look at River State, for example. I was reading the other that PDP has pulled out of local government elections that will happen in 2 weeks' time. So if PDP, River State, that has all the senators, all the House of Rep members, is pulling out of the local government elections, what does it tell you? It tells you that they know that whichever party the governor supports is going to be the party that will produce the councillors and the chairman.
Well, but I think that the Rivers scenario is slightly different because there seems to be an intra-PDP problem.
That's what I'm saying.
They have the Wike faction and Fubara faction.
Fubara people are going to another party.
Yes.
What it means is that everybody knows that that is the party that will win. So the Wike faction in PDP do not want to bother. They've been doing local government elections. They know how they've done it. So they're not going to bother. And you know, we laugh over it as if it's a joke.
Yeah.
But this is our lives going down the drain on a day-by-day basis. They go in there. It's 2 to 3 years, depending on the state. Some states, local government chairman now spend 4 years. So you have to wait for 4 years, you know, and then pray that something good happens. We can't continue that way. It's a challenge that we must sit down and address if we want to continue with democracy. If we don't want to continue with democracy, then we'll do away with democracy and find another form of government. There are countries that do exceptionally well in governments that are not democratic. So if we don't want democracy, we'll do away with democracy. But if we want democracy, we must practice it the way it should be practiced. We must allow people to elect who, you know, represents them.
Absolutely. We will take a break here on the Eastern Eye Special for the coverage of the Anambra local government elections. When we return, we'll continue the analysis and, of course, a lot of the feedback from 21 local government areas of Anambra State. Stay with us.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show upon here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did sing.
For real.
You're not a backup singer.
That's what they do.
It's a brand new week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar
and incompetent means an incompetent person.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Join us on Gyna Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254, and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breast size. The frequency of breastfeeding means the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show on here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did sing.
For real? You're not a backup singer.
I'm sorry,
It's a brand new week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV Official.
You're welcome back to the Eastern Eye Special here with a coverage of Anambra local government elections. And we have quite a number of people who are sending us what's going on in different parts of Anambra State. We need to take a look at those. And when we come back from some of what's happening at the field in Anambra, we'll hear from Divine Onoha, the Queen of Great Conversation. She tells us what's happening on social media, the social media trends part of this election. Let's see what's really making people talk. I don't know whether we're ready with those track-ups from the field in Anambra so we can have a feel of what's going on. Let's take a listen.
Biko ga ife na-eme ebe anụ ahụ.
Ị na-emekwa efu na onye ọbụla pụtasịrị ka ọ bịa tụọ akwụkwọ ndị si local gọọmenti bịa ihe ha butere ezuru ezu. So no need na anyị chere na wepụta ebe a ndị ọbụla si na polling unit fi na anyị fụ ndị mmadụ ka ha jụrụ ebe anyị ama ntụ na ha bụ ha ekwesị ka everything dị complete. So anyị nọ n'ime college na-eche ka anyị ma na ha ebukezuru anyị ihe.
So isiokwu bụ na Nsugbe were tu na-ada atụ akwụkwọ due na material ezuru ezu.
Ọ dị incomplete, so anyị adị atụ.
Enwere ballot papers, enwere result sheet.
Enwere ndị lekwa anyị fụ na ndị a na ebe ahụ ihe ha bụ ezuru ezu anyị echekisi.
So ebe ọ pụtara bụ na enwere ihe ebutu ada atụ akwụkwọ. Thank you, God bless you. Ị na-anya efe igwe mmadụ gatago mmadụ gbara ọba bịara ịtụ vote mana akwụkwọ a ga-echibu vote adịrọ. That is the situation report. Ebe a college second gate with 003. I'm along here, Biko.
I'm Samuel Odnaka. I'm along here, Biko. I'm Samuel Odnaka. I'm only unit Work 2. 003 precisely. I never asked so to. I have we have up to 1,000 days, but I have 20 voters. So, Baruna, do you not come on? I know the actual number of ballots by results is the overall get that. So, I was like, I thought, vote, I said, right, I vote. So, I check out.
There seems to be a lot going on. Clearly, she said it, the first person that spoke, that akwụkwọ ezuru ezu. If I get akwụkwọ ezuru ezu, that is, I have to loosely translate that the electoral materials are not complete, so that they will stay here until all the materials are complete before they can cast their vote. That's what she said. Yes. And then the second person, who obviously from the tag he was wearing, is a party agent, and he says that the materials are not complete, so they have to be here. If it means staying here to whatever, they will stay here, because if you don't have the papers to vote, why are you here? He asked a rhetorical question, and it's an interesting question to have. And so, I mean, this is a very interesting development. This was the scenario we saw in Imo. We saw it also in Enugu. And we are seeing it now in Anambra.
We saw it in Kwara. We saw it in Edo.
So
it's nationwide.
So there is, this seems to smother the standard. There's supposed to be, the standard should be increasing, the graph should be moving up. That curve should be moving up, but that's not what we're seeing.
If you have learning, but if you have learning and you're learning the wrong things, there's nowhere the curve is going to. Elections are supposed to help us learn. If we do an election, we learn from it and improve it. But if we have continuously done it worse, it means that what we are learning are the wrong things. So anybody who comes in is going to build on what we have. And challenge is not one state, it's the 36 states. So it's a national problem. It is a major national problem.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's, Divine is here. Good afternoon to you, Divine.
Good afternoon, sir.
The queen of great conversations.
Okay.
So what's going on?
On social media.
On social media.
A lot is going on, you know. Earlier during the AM show, we're talking about all that, you know, expectations from the elections, and we had Ifeanyi Ogbaji on the show with us. He joined virtually, and we were asking him, how do you think Anambra people are, you know, expecting this election to be? Do you think that they're enthusiastic about going out to vote? And he said, Divine, you already know the answer. You already, I say, I don't know the answer. But he said that, of course, people are discouraged. Of course, people are discouraged, especially when you make reference to the last elections that happened, Imo State, Enugu State, Edo State, a lot of things. And to think it's local government election. Last week, we witnessed that Afia correspondents were being harassed on duty, local government election. So Afia TV official made a poll on Twitter. That's the first one I would like us to talk about. It says, in the Afia, the Anambra State local government election begins today. Do you think it will be any different from the Enugu and Imo local government elections? And from the poll now, we're seeing about 14% of the people who responded said it to be free and fair. And I wasn't quite expecting up to 14% anyways. Then about 35% says it will be chaotic. And we have 51% of responses here saying, I don't care. So a lot of people seem not to care, at least on social media. But what do you make of the analysis, Mr. Alex?
I mean, well, I think I have to show
the
question to the expectations
what I'm worried about is the second level of chaotic. Government elections are never chaotic. Because nothing happens. You know?
Nothing happens?
Chaotic means that there's chaos.
Yeah.
But when they don't come with the result, with the materials, who are you going to create chaos with? You know?
I mean, it even makes matters worse.
So I think that we need to tell ourselves the truth. We should stop wasting our time if we want to continue doing it this way. Because what we do are not elections. You know, we make ourselves look unserious in the committee of Democrats. We say we are pressing democracy, we don't allow elections. So it really doesn't make sense. And it is across parties. So we're not going to say it is because these people are APC, or they are PDP, or they are L.G.A. It's across parties. The governors want to control what happens in the states. So it's something we must have a proper conversation about. Because local government elections are the elections that affect the people the most. Most people don't care who the governor is. If the local government chairman is doing well, the man in my village doesn't want to know who the president is.
So we're telling ourselves the truth. B, just deciding that, okay, since we've seen that this is the way it's going to be, we better just sit at home and not vote? Like this group of people saying, I really don't care. Would that be what telling ourselves the truth would really mean?
I won't blame anybody who sits at home and doesn't vote. Because you're sitting at home and you're going out, it won't change the results. I was telling you offline, the L.G.A people in Imo were complaining that they brought the materials to the local government headquarters and they asked for the result sheet and there was no result sheet. And they said, no, we can't distribute this material without result sheets. And the people who brought it said, okay, let's go back and bring the result sheets. So they sat down there to wait and said they must see the end of it. They were sitting down there and they announced the results. So, so whether they came out or not was not significant. So an ordinary person will say, why do I have to waste my time with? Why don't I find something useful to do with my time?
Oh my God.
And that is a challenge for our democracy, which we laugh over it as if it's comedy, but it's a challenge for our democracy. And that is why we can't hold our leaders accountable, because we didn't choose them. So one leads to the other. It is a conversation we must have. Local government elections must work if we want to practice democracy.
All right, let's move on to the next story. This particular story is from yesterday night. It says, this is from People's Gazette on Twitter. It says, no BVAS for Anambra local government elections. Manual accreditation more reliable. Let me give a little more background to it. So right here, we're seeing that the Commissioner in charge of Information and Logistics, ANSEC, that's Anthony Nalwe, came out to say that, let me try to read what he said. He said that the BVAS was unreliable following the disappointing performance of the device in previous elections in the country. He said that the Commission would deploy manual accreditation, saying that it was more reliable. We will not use BVAS, but manual. BVAS is not reliable. It has distorted the electoral process in Nigeria. We do not want a situation where election results are tampered with. And let me see if there's something else that caught my interest here. He said that non-sensitive materials were already on the way to local government councils, and 5,720 ad hoc staff had been trained to conduct the elections across the state's polling unit. I think the major thing here is him saying that BVAS are not reliable and that manual is more reliable. It's ironical because are we now going from the analog times to, are we now going back to the analog from digital? I don't understand how BVAS are not reliable. And secondly, are we to blame it on BVAS, or is it the human beings? I mean, how does it make sense blaming the device?
Yeah, it's garbage in, garbage out.
I don't believe, I personally don't believe he would say that. If he said that, then something is fundamentally wrong with him. If he said that, then something is wrong. And let me tell you why I say it. What is the biggest issue in elections conducted by INEC? What is the biggest issue? The biggest issue is vote buying. Why is vote buying the biggest issue? Because the votes at the polling units count. BVAS transmits, BVAS is a system we've tested and we're happy with. It works. Problem is in collation. BVAS was supposed to remove collation so that whatever you transmit is the result. But we refuse to abide by the laws and the rules that we made. So after the result has been transmitted, we still deceive ourselves and say we're going to local government to collate. And then after collating, we come to a session and each local government comes and announces the result that has already been uploaded.
Yeah. I mean...
So we keep moving one step forward. We have the laws to make elections work better. We don't have the will to make the laws work. That is just the challenge.
It's really sad because based on the comments I'm seeing there, on our Dizika, even if we used BVAS, it's still going to, the result is still going to be the same thing. Even if we now decide to count manually, manual is even worse. So I really don't know.
BVAS was designed to improve the process, and it did. You can't totally discount the need for proper human beings to be part of the process. You can't discount that. But BVAS was designed to limit the involvement of human beings in the process. So from the polling booths, it goes straight to, the results go straight to where it will be announced. Which means the collation at local government is unnecessary. the collation at the state is unnecessary. But we made the laws, yet we refuse to follow the laws. We go to the local government and say we are collating. We take those results and go to the state and say we are collating. Something that we already have the results at the headquarters. So that is the challenge. Challenge is our inability to follow the laws that we make. Inability for our courts to be firm and say no, this thing was made for a purpose. Because when you use technicality in elections, what it does is that it removes the power of bringing in people from the people to the courts. And that is not the design of democracy.
All right.
What the courts are supposed to do is to look at the process and ensure that the people's votes count. That the person who emerged was the person who the people voted for. That's what the court is supposed to do.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll just take a look at the comments and, of course, hear what people are saying. And, of course, we'll wrap up the segment. The first comment here is from Justice. He said, rigging in full glare. Shameless. Nigeria is not practicing democracy. Pity. The next comment here says, from digital to analog, what a useless country. Wow. The next comment here says, this shouldn't be allowed to stand. We should all condemn this. The next comment here says, I'm sure Anambra people knows what will follow. And the next here says, Tinubu wants to take Anambra by fire, by force. He is still angry that P2B won him in Lagos. I don't know if this is something to consider.
I'm not sure this person knows what's been discussed.
The next comment here says, what is even the use of the so-called BVAS and IREV? Both of them are now useless. It has been rendered useless because of one man's ambition. One day Nigerians will understand what they have done to themselves because one Emilokon wants to rule Nigeria by all means. We just have a lot of angry Nigerians, actually. The next one here says, only in Nigeria will manual be more reliable than digital or computerized. Chai, this country, now wow, I've never seen anything like this, like this monstrosity called Nigeria. And the next one here says, in the Anambra, they have started again. This election will never be free and fair. Foul play has started. And the final comment here says, in the final analysis, the huge and hard-earned resources invested in the BVAS and IREV technology by INEC has turned out to be a colossal waste. Unfortunately, I think that sums it up.
Wow. So on that note of colossal waste of money, but of course your efforts are not a colossal waste, Divine. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for encapsulating what's going on social media. Maybe we'll have one more shot before we end the discussions.
All right.
To find out what people are saying about the elections. Thank you, Divine.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break here on the Eastern Eye Special for the coverage of the Anambra local government elections. When we return, we will feel the pulse of what's happening around some places in Anambra, and then we'll have more in-studio discussions. Stay with us.
My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Okbala.
This is not a real market show like this.
Welcome to Afia TV, your go-to channel for excellent news and incredible shows that keeps you IEI, that is, informed, entertained, and inspired. Need a break?
Ladies and germs, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV.
Join Choco to vibe and chill on Lunch Break at 2 p.m. for the latest trends in music and entertainment.
Not like I have big money.
Dive into the world of innovation and creativity with Rochelle on Anka.
It means art in English.
Where creative minds and groundbreaking ideas come to life. Tune in every weekday at 8 p.m. Do not miss Afia TV Official, your perfect dose of laughter, where they discuss what is currently trending on social media every day at 5:30 p.m. on Afia TV.
But in this economy, the savings will save you, man.
And that's not all. Stay tuned for more exciting shows on Afia TV. Catch us on DSTV channel 254 and Go TV channel 17.
Welcome back to the Eastern Eye Special, the coverage of the Anambra local government elections. I still have my guest here. Some of us will join us a little later, but we'll have a few stories, or I should say pieces of information flowing in. Chimo Biwiwu is telling us that there's been a great deal of apathy. Late arrival of electoral officials and voting materials is marring the 2024 local government elections in Onitsha. And said as at 11 a.m., electoral officials arrived at Ward 14, Onitsha North, after voters have waited and left the venue. At Onitsha North Polling Unit 11, Waterside Central, where 456 people were expected to vote, not one single person has voted as at 11:30 a.m. At Polling Unit 004, 811 persons were supposed to vote, but only 7 people have voted as at 12:30 p.m. And Polling Unit 03 in the same ward, 679 are expected to vote, but only 11 have voted as at 12:45 p.m. And the presiding officer, Nwachukwu Godwin, attributed this to late reception of electoral materials and lack of interest by the people. And I think we have also a track up there from a place in Okbono Ward, Oka South. Let's see if we can take a listen to what's there.
And this is a few minutes to 12. They are just arriving now with the material. You can see them. You can see the INSEC people coming in now with the material. And people are already waiting for them to set in so that they can start voting.
This is still the Eastern Eye Special coverage of the Anambra elections here on Afia TV. So, it's the same of the same.
It is.
The same of the same.
Unfortunately, it is.
It has to arrive late. And, you know, people will have said, okay, let me just go and vote and then go to farm or go to my shop or something. But that didn't happen. Imagine 700 people are supposed to vote and you don't find up to 20 persons voting.
And you can't blame them. And I keep insisting that you can't blame them. Because, like I said to you, the votes at the local government elections don't matter. At the end of the day, the party in power wins all the seats. And also, a lot of people don't bother. Once the votes count, a party will be a natural consequence. Because people go there to vote and their vote decides who leads them. So it's something we now take as part of our electoral process. Local government elections. Okay, it's local government election. You know, there's no need to come out. Even when you come out, nothing is going to happen. But the challenge is that those local government elections are supposed to be learning processes. We have to develop an election culture. That's the democracy that we are talking about. You can't, mess up the local government election and expect that at the general election, magic will happen. It won't happen. We need to develop a voting culture, a culture where votes count. And the only way we can do it is through the local government elections because they happen more often. So, like I said, and if you know the amount of money budgeted for these local government elections, a lot of money running into billions of naira budgeted for local government elections nationwide. Yet, the elections are not allowed to be conducted properly. So who is fooling who? We're just deceiving ourselves. We're creating a culture where people will see elections as a waste of their time.
So could this be a good excuse for whatever is happening at the National Assembly to gather a lot of steam and take over the conduct of local government elections and hand it back to INEC or any other institution that they want to handle it? Because what is happening, one, the standard isn't looking too great. Well, a lot of people seem to be, yes, they might not like everything INEC is doing, but they seem to be more comfortable participating in an INEC election than an election conducted by a state agency.
Because in an INEC election, the major problem is vote buying. What it means is that at the polling unit, something happens. At the polling unit, the votes count. If the votes don't count, vote buying, are they talking about vote buying in any of the local government elections? Nobody's talking about vote buying because there are no votes to buy. So the INEC election at least has a structure that we can build on. You know, if we do the INEC elections and we transmit the results, and we have the will to insist that those transmitted results are the final results, gradually the electoral process will filter itself out. Even vote buying, we will find ways of solving vote buying internally, either through the political party system or through the community system. So I was quite happy when the issues around INEC moved from rigging the election to vote buying, because vote buying means that the votes count. If we can get the votes to count, we can work around every other problem around the electoral system. What happened with the electronic transmission is just our lack of will to do the right thing.
Yeah. So it boils down to the people. It's time for another break here. When we return, we will continue this interaction and the coverage of the Anambra local government and councillorship elections. It's an Eastern Eye special here on Afia TV. Stay with us.
It's a brand new week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to put it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and...
An incompetent means an incompetent person.
your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Hey ladies, join us on Gyna Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breast size. The frequency of breastfeeding means the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show upon here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did single.
For real.
You're not a backup singer.
That's what they do.
It's a brand new week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and
An incompetent means an incompetent person.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Join us on Gyna Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
breastfeeding doesn't even cause breast size. The frequency of breastfeeding means the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
My name is Ubon. Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Papala.
This is not a real market show like this.
Do you know that you fit the pretty person, make the person to enjoy life?
The INM today is the first street fashion show in Nigeria, known as Enugu Street Fashion Show.
This is L.G.A, the voice of the spring, where the opinion of a common mind like Monwa and the Gonwa matters right here.
Yeah, I prefer eating outside than cooking now.
If you're cooking for your family, it's always cheaper to cook in house.
Eating dinner at your house to be more better.
I don't even know.
This is L.G.A.
My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Papala.
This is not a real market show like this.
That you fit the pretty person, make the person to enjoy life.
The INM today is the first street fashion show in Nigeria, known as Enugu Street Fashion
This is L.G.A, the voice of the spring, where the opinion of a common mind like Monwa and the Gonwa matters right here.
Yeah, I prefer eating outside than cooking now.
If you're cooking for your family, it's always cheaper to cook in house.
Eating dinner at your house to be more better.
I don't even know.
This is L.G.A.
You're welcome back. This is still the Eastern Eye special coverage of the Anambra local government elections. And yes, we have one more person on set with us, Barrister Chidi Ujatumba. They say we should, it should be Chidi Ujatumba Esquire.
Esquire, yes.
Yeah, legal practitioner. And I want to just say it's Ujatumba and Company.
Ujatumba and Company. That's the name of my firm.
Yes, yes. So you're welcome.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Alex. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, you see, I'm sure you've been having your own feelers
yes.
for what is happening in Anambra State. And
yes.
Generally, from what you've seen, what's your assessment so
far? I've been trying to match the volume of the campaign I saw from various political parties and what is trying to turn up today. It appears, you know, like the efforts of all other political parties are really, really, you know, going down to the pool. The outcome of what I am perceiving is, I don't know, but maybe there may be one or two, you know, challenges at the end of the day, but ABGA might definitely take it all, like we saw in Imo State and in Enugu State. Yeah.
So I don't know, the moment you said that, I just remember that very classic song from ABBA. So the winner takes it all, and the loser standing small beside the victory. It's a very interesting analogy, isn't it? The winner takes it all, and the loser standing small. And Ndubi Senator, you've been here for quite some time, and just as we wrap up, so that we can let you go. Your journal, of course, it's basically for the incumbent in Anambra. This is their election to lose, isn't it?
Well, the local government elections in the past 24, well, maybe the one in 1999 had a semblance of being a local, but after that...
So because even in Enugu, we had people from other parties emerging as councillors.
After that, it's been this way. And it is not dependent on the party. It's not dependent on the state. We have 36 states. We don't have one model state that we can say this is how local government elections are conducted. We don't have one. It is the same complaint in the 36 states. You know, and then at the end of the day, it is the same result. The party in power produces all the councillors and all the chairmen. It's the same result. You know, so for me, we need to start telling ourselves the truth. And that truth is that we can't continue this way. I even prefer that the people are appointed so that we don't budget money and say we're doing local government elections. Because elections connote that people come out to vote. You can imagine what it does on the psychology of people, that every time you bring them out and nothing happens. And like I said, there has to be learning. For us to improve, there has to be learning. Learning means that you do something and then you learn from it and improve. The biggest challenge we have is that we improved in 2023 by introducing beavers and electronic transmission, but we didn't have the will. We didn't have the will to see it through. If the results are transmitted from the polling booth, why do you need to go to the local government and collate? Why do you need to go to the state and collate? What it means is that the result is already at the center. You know, so we need to tell us, we need to sit down and decide whether we want to practice this democracy the way we've conceived it.
Yeah.
If we do, then the votes must matter.
Absolutely.
If the votes matter, the elections must be elections are not important to us. They are not important to us. The people who conduct elections, there are no consequences for bad action. Somebody is saying they've been there by 12. There are no people who have come to, you know, conduct the election. Those people who came late, if it was a proper election, there was a punishment for getting there late. But they go, it's business as usual, everybody goes home.
Well,
this is how it's done.
I think they may have a reason for showing up late, and that's actually one aspect.
That reason is somebody's responsibility. That's what I'm saying. If elections matter to us,
that's right.
That reason is somebody's responsibility. What do you do to that person? It's because it doesn't matter to us. You know?
Someone really needs to take responsibility. So, Barrister Anambra, so what's the difference between what you saw in the Imo and the Enugu local government elections and what you're seeing today in Anambra State? Have you noticed any change, or is it just same old, same old?
It's going to appear to be same old, probably when the results start coming out. But when you talk about the political awareness, when you talk about participation, when you talk about things like grassroots involvement, when you talk about voter apathy, all these things are high in Anambra. The result of the outcome of people who will participate in these votes will outnumber, or it may outnumber the one that we saw in Enugu State here and also in Imo State. But when it comes to the party who wins and the party that takes it all at the end of the day, the result may not definitely be different. You understand? So the only difference we might see is the outcome, the involvement of the people, and how they were campaigning, how they were motivated and energized to come out today. And we all know that there is one thing very, very peculiar with Anambra people. Anambra people, political, when on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? 1 being the most redundant and, you know, less participatory atmosphere that you can get, and 10 being the most highest. Anambra will always get it between 6 and 7 in the 5 southeastern states in Nigeria, to tell you that Anambrarians are politically informed people. They always love involving in grassroots, no matter the amount of fear, no matter the amount of intimidation you bring to them, they will come out and they will definitely make every effort to vote the candidate of their choice. If you cast your mind back a little bit, when the current governor won the election, you can bear me witness the nature of opposition that the party confronted prior to the election and even on the day of the election. But he, miraculously emerged the winner from L.G.A at the end of it. That shows you the doggedness of the people and how they are ready to go out there to, vote for a candidate of their choice. But what we are saying is that let there be a level playground.
Good.
Let there be a level playground.
Yeah, Ojona Tumba. That might be, that's what I used to call him when we were in the university. By the way, that's my contemporary right there.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll take a quick break here on the Eastern Eye Special for the election coverage. When we return, we will hopefully hear from those of you who want to call us. Stay.
Hey ladies, join us on Gyna Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breast size. The frequency of breastfeeding means the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show on here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did single.
For real. You're not a backup singer.
That's what they do that.
Week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and
An incompetent means an incompetent person.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Hey ladies, Please join us on Ghana Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254, and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause blood clot. The frequency of breastfeeding means the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Well, we're into the last hour of the special coverage of the Eastern Eye Special here on Afia TV. The Anambra local government elections taking place today. And a whole lot of analysis happened already, but we'll have a team here. We're also now joined by Barrister Nadiume Ofokansi, Ochiago Globe. Thank you for always coming on board when we call you for this analysis. He's a constitutional lawyer, and he doesn't shy away from commenting on national and local issues. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, and yeah, just to tell those watching us that you can indeed call us, and especially if you're in Anambra State, tell us what you are experiencing where you are. You can call us on 081-0579-0391. It's on the screen. See something, say something. Call us on 081-057-90391. You can call us on the number on your screen, and we will take your thoughts. Just be sure that you are calling us from an actual voting center, so it makes sense. So, Barrister Nadiume, your assessment of what has happened, you know, the risk of sounding like a broken record here, is it like Imo, Enugu, like Anambra?
Well, you see, I've been following this election since morning, but from yesterday, I've been monitoring Anambra. You know, the Igbos say that about OBF 1 year. My own little village, once you move out of my village, you get into Anambra State, you get into Ube, Obo, Family, Nando, just. But my own little Oglo community, the last time you know that you move in from there to these Anambra communities. So whatever affects Anambra State as a state, and once it affects our neighboring communities, it affects us down here, because the little third road that Soludo did from Amansi to both family, we are benefiting from it. We don't need to stress ourselves coming tonight, Mike, we want to go to Oka. It's just a walkover. Something you can do in less than 10 minutes. We are in Oka. So, but that be as it may, I've said I'll monitor the election. I'll follow the elections this morning. I didn't see any radical difference from what we had in Enugu on Saturday and Imo last Saturday too. What we used to have in local government elections in the period of 1999 to date. I think it was only, you know, by a whip of insight, I think it was only Rufai in Kaduna State that once conducted a local government election where maybe there are interchanges in parties that won elections. But we had expected Anambra to be different for a lot of reasons. One, Anambra State is the microcosm of Nigerian politics. Why do I say that? Everything in Nigerian politics from 1999 virtually started in Anambra State. It was in Anambra State that a governor did one tenure, and he was voted out. Only Anambra State. It was only in Anambra State that governor changed the calendar, the political calendar of Nigeria. Governors now have off-cycle elections and the normal elections. It started in Anambra. It was also in Anambra that a sitting governor was kidnapped. A sitting governor, the head hostage. So a lot of things have happened in Anambra. But it is also in Anambra that we have had a governor who made agriculture prime And the Anambra State was exporting vegetables so that you can take Ogo Anambra in Dubai as early as 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning the next day. So a lot of things happen in Anambra. So we expect Anambra to set a very nice example. Besides, Anambra is ruled by a professor. Now, if Anambra fell into the same trap of Enugu, that is ruled by a businessman lawyer, or Imo, that is ruled by somebody we cannot actually say this is another year not there, then it is regrettable. Because from indices and from calls I've made, which we might still repeat some of the calls now while we are here on air, many are saying that materials are not even arrived. As at 1:35 when I was driving to this studio. Some said, yes, they have seen INEC officials, but they didn't come with the result sheets. Just the same scenario of Enugu last Saturday. So it's like they had a meeting. Write the result, keep it in local government. Go and bamboozle those gullible voters who say they want to vote. Carry ballot paper and give them. When they vote and finish and then they can go home, you come to local government and announce the result. Even if you keep vigil at the various polling booths in Anambra and insist that you must get the result, you will be so surprised that by the time it is 6 p.m., the result will be announced in various local government headquarters. So you see, this thing is universal. It is not peculiar to PDP, it's not peculiar to L.G.A, it is not peculiar to APC. It is a Nigerian malady. I think it's a malady that has pervaded the political cycle of every Nigerian. I still doubt if I will not be captured by the same obnoxious disease, assuming without considering the fact that tomorrow I become a governor. But I still want to state that there is no rocket science in governance. Doing the right thing is not something that is difficult. Yes. And doing the right thing sometimes can even near you to the hearts of your people, more everlasting than these cut and nail people are doing now. See, why I say that Anambra is the microcosm of Nigerian politics is because it is also in Anambra where you come to the House of Assembly. You have representatives from L.G.A party, you have from PDP, you have from Young Democratic Party, you have from APC, only in Anambra. Every other House of Assembly in Nigeria is homogeneous. Where there is kind of dissenting voice, the government might decide not to swear them in like they did in Edo. So you find out that this madness, I don't know when it's going to stop. You see, I had the privilege of watching some of my colleagues and friends who have been here before I came in. The matter has ever been, this thing can't continue like this. When will this type of thing stop? Edo election, the national election they had in Edo, the governorship election, you saw what happened. The result was going one way or the other in favor of PDP. Somewhere along the line, they now say they are now collating the results at the various local governments. Now, you have transmitted the results for the polling unit to the IRF portal. They used beavers. It's unlike Anambra and Enugu where there is no beavers. Now, you say you are collecting results. You discarded the one that already been transmitted. And they are now collecting results that have been mutilated to the glare of everybody. And you are announcing it. What emboldened INEC to do that? Supreme Court of Nigeria. Because the Supreme Court of Nigeria had stood their ground during the last election and forgot the issue of the corruption that have pervaded our judicial system.
Yes.
This issue of collation of results after transmission, it was unnecessary.
We have a caller on the line.
Okay.
Barrister Fokansi. I understand we'll have a caller on the line. Maybe we can have the person on. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. All right, continue the thought. I think the call just dropped.
So you find out that if these things have been, Supreme Court has stood its ground, that once a result is transmitted, whatever you have there, once it doesn't tally with whatever you have in any collection center, that result is void.
It's void.
But they gave impetus to rig it. Supreme Court now said that transmission of results is not one of the processes organized by law before results is declared. That it is only collected results. So the one who have transmitted from where the voting took place has now been discarded in favor of the one that is manually being collected. And that was what emboldened anybody in Edo, in Anambra, in Enugu, in Imo. Now, there is no straight fact if you go to the electoral law or the constitution that empowers states to organize local government elections. I don't think the modus, the method of organizing that election was stipulated by that law. Because the NCEC, just like the INEC, can develop their rules. Now, we tested the one created by our brother in 1993. That is the option A4 system. And that one has never disappointed us. Even though it can give some people heart attack, because as you are there, as you queue in, you see whether you are failing or whether you are winning. From the queue, everybody will help to count it. And as they are counting with you. So people try to circumvent the option A4, then came the telephone that has inbuilt cameras. So a lot of people now decided not to look at that. So why not we go to option A4? Since you must have to use manual voting, instead of saying collect manually, leave the beavers we have tried before, leave the electronic transmission of election results we have done before, go back to manual. If you are going to go back to manual, option A4 is pure manual. So let's get back to option A4. And they know that with option A4, if you fail election, you will fail. Everyone will see you have failed. And if anybody announces anything contrary to what people see you counting, even what they count in ballot paper, the 1, LP, 72, those ones are even stay very skilled because anybody can manipulate that one. But this one, they are touching people on their head and they are counting them. And they are queuing behind their candidates. So that's the option A4. Why can't we go back to it? But what I still say is that we are still waiting for a governor that will get local government election correct. The first governor that will get it right will create a legacy for himself and his children unborn.
All right. I mean, they usually would do that in their second term. That's what Nasiru El-Rufai did. So, so with everything that's happening, with delays that we've seen, is it that people around here are incapable of organizing an election that can be praised? I mean, we can understand that opposition political parties will complain about different things, but can we at least have an election that people will say, okay, at least they showed up on time, then you worry about the outcome? Because the problem now isn't the outcome. We haven't seen any results.
I haven't seen any results.
The problem is that the men and materials haven't arrived where they're supposed to arrive early enough.
Now, when you take a good look at the type of election that we are talking about, it is an election that involves a particular state, not the whole federation. And I think ordinarily the materials and men who are supposed to conduct this election should be on site. They should be at the necessary polling unit on time, because that is one of the things that will encourage people in the rural areas, in the local communities to come out and participate. If in my neighborhood I hear that NSEC people or INEC people or anybody that is organizing the election have arrived as early as 9 a.m. or even 10 a.m., even if I don't have that, if you can say, even if I don't have that motivation to go out and vote, I might be pushed to go and do same, because I have seen that the officials are on site, on time. So the body language of the organizers of the election will go a long way to determine what will be the outcome of the election at the end of the day. Because arriving on time, all the materials required for the election to be on site on time, it's one of the fundamental things to also show that the body assigned with the responsibility of organizing the election knows their onions very well and they know how to fry them. Because it's only when you have arrived on time that you can say, look at the time we arrived. We have not seen anyone to come to either to get accredited or to vote. Now, let us look at the people that we are expecting to come out today to vote, because Anambra State is not in Abidjan. Anambra State is not in Benin Republic. Neither is it in Ghana. Anambra State is in Nigeria. And when we sit back and we calculate the number of elections that we've had over, let's say, 12 months now, we sit back and we ask ourselves, what will be the outcome of this one? what will make a difference? Yes, we know that we are dealing with a region that is politically active. We are dealing with a region that have, brought a whole lot of change in the political atmosphere of not just Southeast, the whole Nigeria, but what would be that different that we can record to show that probably a governor can come out and organize an election, and that governor will now set up a kind of a model for every other coming local government election.
We have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Not on this case, not on this case. We will let it not. I don't care. Not on this particular one. That woman is old.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling us from? This is Afia TV.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, I can hear you. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Ule Kingdom.
Ule
Kingdom.
Okay, Ule, all right, good. Okay, good, I understand that. So, are you in what polling unit exactly?
Sir, I'm calling from Ule Kingdom.
Yes, I heard that. Which polling unit are you calling us from? Okay, so
what's happening there?
What's happening there? What's happening there?
People didn't come out for that election due to the belief that Abuga will lead the election, so they didn't come out. So people say that the Governor Soludo wants to lead the election, so they didn't come out. Only few people come out. So even now they say casting the vote.
Okay, so what time did the election start there?
You say what?
What time did voting start there? Hello? Okay, he's dropped the information there. He said that there's apathy, that people think that the election has been settled before it even started.
That have been counted.
So this is a big problem, isn't it? So if you have a setup that people always think that this election already has an end before it started.
Oh, it destroys the whole process.
The psyche of the people will take a hit for that, isn't it? Barrister Fokan.
Yes, you see, during the last 21st September Enugu local government election, you see, we belong to the opposition party. I belong to Labour Party. On Thursday and Wednesday, but I got home on Thursday, and even before I went home, people were saying, what are people doing? That the election has been decided. I said, okay, if it's been decided, why are people still campaigning? Let's just see how it goes. Unfortunately, they still came to the so-called polling centers and created their problems. The same election they said have been decided. But then again, a lot of people like the caller, if I who is calling from Monterey said, our party rules local government election. Even the ruling party, we are not even convinced in themselves. So I told them that why not you come out, let's cast the vote, go home and write what you want to write. But don't deny us the opportunity of seeing election materials. Well, they did that, they denied, and that's exactly what they played out in Anambra. Their party is there already. But the thing is that, one again, is that there is no sensitization. Soludo ordinarily should have had his foot soldiers sensitize the people on the need to come out for this election. Because this one is going to determine what happens in your own immediate environment. Bearing in mind also that the Supreme Court, in their usual way, has also said that the local government finances shall go to the local governments. How do you now hold somebody I appoint for you in Oka, responsible for what he's doing in your own community? Like my friend was saying, is that why people don't hold, whether it was here or whether it was NDBCA, I think it's one of them. He said, why we don't hold our leaders accountable is because we never voted for them. Somebody like Alex Oti, with due respect your namesake, who is in Abia State, you see, whatever he's doing in Abia State, he's circumspect of the fact that people of Abia put him there.
Mandate.
And if he messes up, he might not come back a second time. Because he is the only one and the one in Kano that the people's mandate actually counted during the last...
But is it indeed possible for someone, even if unquote, that the process that brought you in was flawed.
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to walk yourself to the heart of the people?
Why not? Why not? Why not? Yar'Adua admitted that. You cannot be such a kid that you wouldn't know whether Yar'Adua was in power. He won the election, but it was the same Obasanjo's do or die affair that produced him. He was the only Nigerian president who came and said, I know that the process that brought me into power was flawed, but I'm bent on changing the system. He set out to change the system. And death, I think Nigeria has a little problem in the psychic world. The man who actually came out to tell us the simple truth and to know whether he can correct it,
he died.
Death took him away from us. Otherwise, if the man had been there, he would have won the second term election on the conviction that people now see this is the man who wants to do the right thing. But Jonathan came on, tried his best, because it was also the only Jonathan that appointed an INEC chairman. He never knew for one day. Jega, he never knew Jega from Adam. And he said that, and Jega said that, and the party was recommended, and they came for the interview. He saw he had the qualifications. He recommended him to the National Assembly. So, but the same Jega he appointed also became a problem because Jega himself, the same system that he introduced, he used it to destroy his own legacy. And that's why nobody's talking about him. These things are, I keep on saying, this is elementary, Alex. If you want to do the right, if you, like this studio where you are a newscaster, you are an anchorman, you do this, you do that. You take this your job serious. If you're supposed to be here by 8 o'clock, you'll be here by 7:59. At least clocking 8 o'clock, you're here in the studio. Your viewers, good thing now that social media has made it, like people can now give a feedback. Go and watch the feedback of your viewers. You will see the way they will be reacting to your program. Like someone was telling me one day, whether you watch Arise TV because of Rufai or you watch Rufai because of Arise TV. You see, there are people why people tune to that TV. There are programs why people tune to each television channel. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the people who are there, they know the right thing to do. But the issue is that the politics of Nigeria is a politics of individuals, for individuals, for themselves and their families. The very day it becomes politics for service, this rubbish will stop. Once it becomes politics for service, I keep on making reference to you went to election where in the United States, you went to cover election in the United States. And I asked you whether you saw American Electoral Commission. Did you see any of their signposts?
Well, in fairness, I didn't see a signboard. Okay. I just met one person who was election board of controls, and that was in a place called Columbia Heights in Washington. Okay, that was the only time because we actually went there. Yes, I didn't see. I mean, even when the election results are released, you don't see INEC. I don't know whether they have that. Maybe they have a website. Maybe they have a website. I never saw it. Okay. You don't see that TV stations are projecting results. Fine. And because the results are coming out in real time.
Thank you.
And, you know, they obey their IREV. But here we don't.
Definitely. Good. Now,
we're collating the results.
Good thing you went there, you saw it yourself. Yes. Now, these our leaders, they also go there. And they see. They also meet their colleagues, governors, mayors, and every other person that has taken political office. The time you went to the United States, you see everyone riding on a truck, like what do you call it? On a rail. Whether you are governor from whatever place, you want to go anywhere, you enter the railway. You join the rail, you take it where you're going.
But the U.S. president was not, the U.S. president has its own full entourage.
No.
In fact, the one side of the road had to be closed. One of those days in Washington, when it was passing.
Fine.
So I mean, we needed to put that there.
No. I'm not saying but in very many other climes. Yeah. Like in Netherlands.
Yeah.
The other day,
the bicycle.
The lady who saw the president said, well, sir, are you the president? I'm the president. And they're walking on the street like this. Said, yes. What is happening? He said, I'm going to repair my eyeglasses. The man has his eyeglasses. He said, he's going to repair a president. The lady couldn't believe it. From Delta. She was down doing a selfie with the president, walking on the state streets.
I saw that.
No police, no nothing.
We'll have a caller. We'll have a caller. Hello, good afternoon.
I think it's if I call it.
Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Is that if I ask you?
Hello, I want to know about the election. Anambra State election.
Yeah, what's your name and location?
My name is Vincent Indukwe.
Okay. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Anambra State.
Where in Anambra?
Which part of Anambra?
Also, I want to tell you that we are not doing election in Nigeria again, because even if we do election or not, the ruling party must win the election. So in Anambra State now, well, by 2 o'clock, we have not seen any no elect material. Yeah.
Where?
So people are saying, yeah.
Where are you calling from? Where in Anambra are you calling from?
After now, they say that.
Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from in Anambra?
And no election was conducted.
Yeah, Ndukwe.
Hello, Ndukwe.
Okay, I mean, obviously, we are not going to get that information. But the only information that is clear is that he's calling from Anambra State,
yes,
and he is unhappy.
Wherever it is,
I mean, you can also call us, in case you're not seeing the number on the screen, I will call it out. 081 057 90391. 081 057 90391. I'll take it a third time. 081 057 90391. That's the number you can call, and you can easily. I understand we possibly have some clips that we need to show of what's happening in various places. I understand that the L.G.A National Chairman Sly Ezokenwa has voted, and a few other activities that may have happened. So if we have that ready, we can roll them. But if we don't, we can. Okay, there's a call on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, try and call us back. I guess he was listening to all the commotion in the studio.
Yeah.
It can be very interesting sometimes. So, Barrister Ojatumba, people are calling to say they are not happy with this, they are not happy with that. How much can the people take, really? How much can the people take?
It's really appalling. It's not encouraging, and I must say, it's like a planned program to wither the enthusiasm and the ability of people to participate in the electoral process. And when you have got down to the point where people are no longer interested to come out and vote,
yeah,
I wonder what will be the outcome.
There's a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Okay.
Yeah, we will look at it now and we can say it's quite bad, but I have hope, okay? Leadership, governance is all about getting a good leader. My senior colleague here rightly pointed out, when we had a good leader, what he was ready to do and how his single effort over there can, affect the entire 36 states of the Federation. That's one powerful thing about good leadership. If you have a leader who does not support corruption, if you have a leader who doesn't care where a political appointee comes from, but who will channel you and charge you to, abide by the dictates of the Constitution. If we have a leader who is transparent, we will now know that this is exactly where the leadership of this nation is pointing towards to. And I beg to say that it will go a long way to, ensure that electoral processes in the state level and in the local government level is done with a reasonable quantum of credibility. Because credibility is the watchword. Credibility is the yardstick that we can use to measure
credibility.
Every election, yeah.
We'll have a call. Let's check the credibility of this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name and location?
My name is Vincent Indukwe. From Anambra State.
Which part of Anambra?
From L.G.A.
Okay.
From?
L.G.A.
Okay, L.G.A. Go ahead. So what's happening in your polling unit? What is happening in your
all of us standard. Well, we waited for a long time. We had extra material. So governors are scared, and we went away.
Wow. By 2000.
Community Tobodo.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Yes, this is Alex Obodo.
Hello?
Hello?
The answer is that it's better to stop. It's better to stop election in there because. Hello.
Go on, we're hearing you.
We can hear you. We can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
The network breakage is from his side.
Oh, so
yes,
sorry.
because we are not doing election in Nigeria. It's better to start doing election. Hello, I think that.
Okay, I mean, he's made his point.
Yeah, he's made his point.
They've been waiting.
By 2000.
See, I have something to say. Prior to the 2023 election, INEC and the federal body made a lot of promises. They engineered people. They made people want to go to vote. And if you have been following the Anambra State local government election, starting from the first time the NSEC, I think Genevieve Ndukwe came out and said this is the date the election will hold. They've been organizing symposiums, they've been doing media outreach and everything. But on the day of the election, 2:32, materials and personnel are not at the polling units. That left a lot to be desired, Alex.
Absolutely.
It left a lot to be desired.
We'll take a quick break here. When we return, we'll have more to talk about as we continue to cover the Anambra local government elections. It's an Eastern Eye special here on your favorite channel, Afia TV. Stay with us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, can we meet you?
I'm David.
Okay, David.
This one is 002.
Who?
PO of this unit 002.
Okay, where is this 002?
This is Igbo Primary School in Itoka.
If you talk in Oka South. So how is the election going on here?
Everything is peaceful. People are coming in. Make sure their name
How is the turnout? How can you describe the turnout?
Has been encouraging, but not that really big because considering the situation of the content. But so far so good. Guys, look at the so many places have gone. Then they vote and peace.
Okay, they will vote and go.
Yes.
So what you do here is you do the accreditation, the person will just vote.
Yes,
when did material arrive here?
Actually, that should be around 8:30 a.m. That's when it's
really?
I think they have arrived here.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Please tell us your name and what you are and why you are here.
My name is Wangwa Elizabeth Izamaka. I am the supervisory presiding officer in this polling unit 001-002-014 of Igobeze Primary School Center under Ward 2. Okay.
Yeah. So how is the election going?
As you can see, everything is moving well. No problems. I think they are done with their accreditation stuff and they are now voting, casting their votes. You know, the turnout
how is the turnout?
Yeah, it is well. More than what I expected. Exactly.
How about the party agents? Are they all here?
I saw many of them when I came. You know, I just come to supervise.
Okay.
You understand? I saw many of them when I came around, but it's like some of them are left, but some are still around.
Okay, so it is quite peaceful here. Thank you. God bless you.
As the deputy mayor candidate of L.G.A in Ihiala local government cast his vote, Honorable Roland Chukwudozie, he cast his vote. Good. Okay. Thank you. Okay. At L.G.A Women Central School.
My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Afamaka. I am Shioma Akbala.
It is not a real market show like this.
You're welcome back to a special Eastern Eye coverage here on Afia TV. Of course, it's the Anambra local government elections. We've been since 11 o'clock and even beyond that, since 8 a.m. we've been trying to get perspectives of those who are involved in the election, and we're still here. My name is Alex Obodo. I still have in the studio with me Barrister Nadimo Fokansi and Barrister Chidi Ujatumba. So this is an election. This is just one among many elections that, from everything we are seeing, will just be like one of many elections, isn't it, Barrister Nadimo Fokansi?
Yeah, you see, the Independent National Electoral Commission, that the National INEC, when they conduct their elections, a barrage of criticisms also follow them. But you see, between 1999 and date, I don't think I had any kind of complaint in such a way that it will be so widespread that we don't bring, that INEC will not bring electoral results. Where they bring results, they will not bring ballot papers. Where they brought ballot papers, what do you call it? Beavers will not work. I don't think, with their imperfection, they are still far better than anything any state can organize. Like you rightly pointed out, yes, Europa organized a relatively fair election towards his last tenure. Not like Peter Obi did also towards his own last tenure. But must it be in their last tenure? What makes them? If you think you are popular, what makes you wait for your turn?
But the governor is not on the ballots even in his second tenure.
No. See, the governor wants to sell his own candidates. The governor's campaign, governor goes to the local governments, various local government headquarters to campaign. And he has people contesting the election from his own party. If he feels he's doing the right thing, I don't think there's any need to hide anything from anybody. They should make it open and make the materials available. So, but you can find out that this rush, they are rushing now to conduct this election. I think they are all running away from the fear. That is the fear of national INEC has become the beginning of wisdom for these governors. You know, INEC has a bill already in the floor of the National Assembly for INEC to take over the management and the control and then the conduct of local government elections in the states. Definitely, you know, this bill will say through. Because I do believe that while Tinubu has his bad size, there might also be his own good size. Maybe it might be an attempt to clip the wings of the governors. At least he has clipped free first from the local government funding. If he now gets INEC to conduct local government election, and that one is now going to be a 4-year tenure. This one local states are organized a 2-year tenure. So if that one can be a 4-year tenure, and INEC will conduct the election, let this one be a test of the food in the eye that we shall still eat in the coming 4 years. But to think about whether this is an election, there have been elections, but since 1999, you can even say, like the other time, I said I give a little kudos to Enugu State for a reason. I don't know how it has ever been in Anambra as 1999, but that 21st of September was the first time a ballot box was brought to the open in Enugu State from Chimaroke, Sullivan, Buruburu, to a date. Now tell people to come and cast your votes. Whether they have written the result somewhere is immaterial. But for somebody to correct, that means somebody is now checkmating them. And maybe the opposition is becoming a little bit more vibrant. So that also might also give the reason why in Anambra State, Anambra has a very formidable opposition in PDP. The Labour Party has also become another bigger, formidable opposition than the PDP. So Soludo, his fears could be understood. So that you
and he's still in his first term.
Yes, you appoint ANSEC officials, and then maybe within Oka Metropolis, where the press has easy access, you do a semblance of election of what we are seeing here. The two calls we had, the other one says coming from More, and that there was a party, and they're still even counting votes. The other one says coming from Enugu Agidi. And in Enugu Agidi, that as at 3:32 p.m., materials have not arrived. Now, we also want people from Iyala. We want to get all the nooks and crannies of Anambra State. Let people from Iyala call us. Let people from Oko area call us. Let people from the closer aspect here, or Benebe, or Bofemili, Ubuen, call us. Let people from Amansi call us. We want to see what actually is going on in Anambra firsthand. Because Afia TV is live for them. So, but come to think about whether they are doing it right in Anambra, they are not. And it is people like you just said, people have lost interest in the electoral system.
Yes.
And it is very dangerous for democracy.
It's very dangerous.
If there is a military purge today, you see people trooping to the streets to celebrate the army. But you don't pray for that. But if peradventure it happens, you will see Nigerians trooping to the streets to celebrate the army. Because from 1999 to date, Alex, it is enough time for us to get it right. For goodness sake, what is so special in an election? Let them make laws. These things are easy. Let them make laws at the National Assembly. Make participation in politics a kind of part-time. as it is in every other client. People now say, well, what is your profession? They say, right, politician. Is politician a profession? Nobody will say, I'm a professional politician. You must have a job you are doing. In the United States, after Clinton left office as president, he went to Harvard Law School and took up a chalk and became a teacher. Obama went back to his NGO with his wife, and they are still running the NGO up until now. So tell me why people in Nigeria become a counselor, what has gone forever in your own kindred. It is wrong. But it's no more about service. And that's why this is happening. Let them make laws and make all these political offices. Let them become kind of voluntary and part-time, so that if you finish what you are doing, if it is 2,000 naira allowance for your sitting, as you are stepping out of chambers that same day, you get your alert. And for the governors, fine, it has to be a full-time job. President has to be a full-time job, because you need to do what? Dispense some authorities and then manage the people's commonwealth. But again, why it has to be that? You remove immunities.
Yes.
All those immunities surrounding the governors and the president should be taken away. So
if you remove all the immunities, if you look at it from the way we are proceeding now as a nation, it will look good to remove the immunities, but the kind of legal tussle and the kind of delay it will cause in the system of governance, it is not something that any governor or any president would love to enjoy. I love what
and that will make them do the right thing. If you now know you have no immunity, and you come to slap Alex reports you to the police, and the police picks you as a governor, because maybe he asks you one question in a press conference. You tell this idiot, come here, why? The next minute, you are charged for assault. And you go to your trial. The only thing they can do is that if they convict you, they can suspend the sentence. They suspend the sentence. As you are stepping out from the chambers of the hollow chambers of the governor, you are moving into prison yard. People learn their lessons from there.
Definitely, we need a lot of what my colleague rightly pointed out is needed in our political space. But the most important thing here we need is the political will. All the things you mentioned, they are very, very important. But we need a man who will stand at the helm of affairs with enough balls and brain and political will to say, this is the way I want this nation to move. Without that, we shall never get anywhere. What you are seeing, they don't have it. They are not exercising it. How can you just come out and you will have the political will to remove subsidy, but you don't have the political will to slash down the salary of senators and you are talking about making something a part-time business. But the president came in and raised the salary of senators, raised the salary of judges, raised the salary of everybody. And how are we going to survive? The cost of governance is almost taking more than 40% of the Nigerian budget. So where do we go from here?
That's actually one of the issues. Because if at the lowest level, where you have the local government and the councillors, if the process is not seen to be fair and transparent, who do you believe? How do you believe and trust in the process through which somebody that will be a governor or House of Assembly member, even senator or House of Rep member will emerge?
No, you see, the process, that's why I say these things, even though we make very beautiful laws without obeying our laws. You see, if they can make laws like I suggested here now, that membership of any political party, one, is no more mandatory that it must have to come through a political party. But there's also a bill for private candidates, independent candidates. Now, if this bill says true, and the bill for people to be on part-time says true, and again, they amend this and make transmission of results from polling booths to the IRF, a final result, and not dispense with collation for local government.
Collation has killed us.
We will be moving an inch closer. But the thing is that the political gladiators, they know these things and they know that it will affect them negatively. Just imagine somebody who, for instance, belongs to the Neighborhood Watch Association of his community and suddenly wins to become a member of the National Assembly, and suddenly gets an SUG that is worth 600 million, when he could not maintain a motorcycle ab initio. Now, don't you see that now is equivalent to the ego that people don't program themselves before they start spending it? So if the laws are there to checkmate these people, nothing stops any person who wants to vie for an election. I said it the other day, I said, there are some things Babangida did which I very much also appreciate. When Babangida equipped the two political parties, SDP and NRC, built local government offices for them in all the 774 local governments, equipped them with vehicles, equipped them with personnel, had permanent staff posted to the offices as staff working for them. Now, Ghanaian Power went to court and said that it is circumventing the right of Nigeria to freely associate as enshrined in the Constitution. Supreme Court agreed with him and liberalized political parties. Now, today there are political parties that don't have two offices, apart from the man who says he is the head of the political party. Now, that hasn't happened. You find out that every other person here now wants otherwise what they could have done with Babangida to modify it. The two political parties and independent candidates. If you don't go left, you go right. If you can't go right, you stand on your own.
Control.
And if you start on your own, the tendency is that if you become popular, so popular in your area, and you can have enough finances to muster your campaign, you can win the election without appending yourself to any political party. So this issue of councillor, that is the nucleus where people could have even started.
Yes.
So if you feel that your people want, like last, when Bubu was exiting, the councillors that are going in for second term now, one came from my village. The guy is a businessman in Lagos. He has a lot of wealth. And before he showed interest in politics, he has been doing everything for the community. So we now said, okay, if this man can do this as a private person for our community, let him be a councillor. He said he wants to be a councillor. I personally had to walk up to the deputy governor there, Mrs. Celia Zio, when they were, he said, do you think this man is hungry? I said, is councillorship now a position you compensate people with, especially people who are hungry? We are telling somebody who will work for us in our committee, leave him for us. If there had been provision for independent candidates, that person could have been a councillor.
Exactly.
Because we could have told him,
and he'll get the necessary votes.
Forget every other place. Because everybody was behind him. Pick the card on your own. You have the money to pay for it. You can monitor your election, and you win. And you win. You will make sure you follow the election to the last decade. But because they now jettisoned Babangida, they threw Babangida away, just like throwing away the crime baby and the bathwater. Everything Babangida did was thrown away because they say it's Maradona, because they cancelled June 1993 presidential election won by Abiola. If the man has Dad Abacha, who threatened him, and allowed, what do you call him, Wosu to complete the release of the results, let Abacha now do Abiola his own queue, if you want to do the queue. But not to listen to Abacha to cancel the election. That's what Babangida's on doing.
Yes.
And that is why every Nigerian interest in the man fled. Otherwise, the man had a lot of lofty ideas, because he believes in whatever you say is going to make Nigeria better. Come and do it. And that is the best of a leader. And that's why even in court, when you see, every judge tells you that there is a learning process. Okay, counsel, address me on it. Go and write a written address. I'll read it. So you read it. If he doesn't know it, he will learn from there. So Babangida, if you tell Babangida there's carnage on a highway, ask what you would do. He said, set up road safety, so go and bring the blueprint. Babangida, a lot of people are suffering from poverty. What do you do? Set up a people's bank, go and bring the blueprint.
Poverty alleviation.
You bring the blueprint, he will set up the bank for you and give you money, run it. You find out that running the bank will not even be easy. So that is a good leader. And that is why Nigeria should not have thrown away his two political parties. They could have very modified it by adding independent candidates. And by now, we could have known where we are going. If SDP rules us for 16 years and couldn't rule us well, we go to NRC. If NRC rules us for another 20 years and could not get, we get back to SDP. And so gradually like that, and this is will be moving. Every clime makes laws for governance of his own people that will suit them. You don't have to copy what you saw in the United States.
Absolutely. We're almost out of time. We'll just get to final thoughts in a minute. Barrister Chidi.
Yes, the people should know that this local government election is not business as usual. The Supreme Court has made it mandatory that the money that should be spent on every local government will not be paid into the local government purse. So if you elect or if you allow someone to be selected for you, how will you now have the bold chest to come out tomorrow and complain that your local government is underdeveloped? Local government is the citadel of every development, and I think no matter what happens, we should try as much as possible to get it right at that local government level. Because if we get it right at that level, it's going to be wonderful, and that's where the engine of participation in politics, that's where the youth will be encouraged to, come out tomorrow and vie for one political post or the other, and then get it and also have the opportunity to serve their community.
Engine of participation.
Yeah.
Barrister Chidi Ujatumba and Company. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Yeah.
And Barrister Nadimo Fokansi, also legal practitioner. Ochago Glogu, thank you for your always enthusiastic analysis on such issues. And that's for now, that's the end of what we're doing, but our coverage of this continues, because we'll continue to keep an eye on what's happening in different parts of Anambra, in the 21 local government areas. Of course, I'm sure that from now, here on out, collation will be happening in different places. So we'll continue to keep you posted on what's happening. And at this point, I have to thank the whole team. People have had to stay awake, work late into the night to make sure that this came on board. From all those who worked on the designs for different things, and those coordinating at the MCR, Natalie Oku, standing all through the morning, making sure that all the videos are cued and titled properly. Obiunwa, the camera crew, Solomon, Wisdom, everybody, the general manager of Afia TV, Namdi Obaya, everyone who's played in this, those in the newsroom, Marvelous, and Anne Ugochinyere and Ogochukwu Asai. I'm sure I may not be able to mention everybody's name, but up there in the MCR, I have Damilare up there and Tobe. Thank you so much, guys, for standing tall. I can hear them laughing in the MCR. You were thinking I forgot your names. Don't worry. Thank you so much for doing this. We'll continue to bring all the information that you need on this election. And thank you for watching. Those of you who joined us from everywhere, continue to engage on our social media handles at Afia TV Official. And on behalf of all the team, my name is Alex Obodo. The Eastern Eye returns Monday, 7 p.m. Good afternoon.